Can you use your DAW blind? I bet you've never been asked that question before, but I am asking you now. So what do I mean by that? What am I going on about? Can you turn your screen off and still keep using your DAW? Now, I'm mostly talking about the tracking stage of recording, because ultimately at that stage you can think of the computer as a big tape machine, so we shouldn't need to have the screen on. And the reason I do this is because I set this task to my students, because I want them to become fully competent in using key commands to navigate and move around Pro Tools or Logic without having to keep referring to the menus on the screen and the mouse and using the mouse, because I find the mouse can slow you down. If you're quick with the key commands, you should be able to fully operate a DAW for most tasks. When it comes to recording, it might be useful having the screen on for some elements of setting up a template, for example. And also, of course, I don't mean editing, although you could try editing. You know, once you know the key commands, you should be able to do fairly basic edits, except by moving around on the timeline using rewind and fast forward, locating a point, selecting a track, and then cutting. Now, of course, you may not know what track you're in, so having some visual feedback is useful. If you want to be totally proficient at your DAW, you should have all of those key commands under your fingers, so you're not having to refer to the menus and you're not having to refer to the screens. So the task I'm setting you and the question I'm asking you is, how far can you get without the screen on? Try it, give it a go. You should at least be able to do all the things, the transport functions like rewind, fast forward, without needing to look at that screen. Yeah, hitting record, selecting a new track, duplicating a track. All these things you can do without looking at a screen quite easily. The other thing about using a DAW blind is when it comes to mixing, that the thing I find most problematic is so many of us now are mixing using these things, as opposed to the most important thing, which is these things. Now, turning a screen off, or at very least turning off your plug-in analyzers and your plug-in EQs, in particular where you're watching all these beautiful pictures. Leave the screen on if you need to find out where you are and what track you're on, but try setting up a controller on a keyboard or an external controller or your mouse, and try changing EQ controls and listening. Do not look at the screen, turn away from the screen. Try and hear what you are changing rather than using your eyes to mix and your eyes to control the output rather than the most important thing of all. So a little test there. Can you use your DAW blind? Can you use your DAW with the screen on? If you can't, maybe it's something you want to give it a try. Maybe if you want to become more proficient using your DAW, being able to master those key presses without looking at the screen will set you in good stead. I hope you found that video useful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I've been Brucey. Take care, my friends. I will catch you later.